All right, you ready for this? We've heard about this before. We've heard about a college student who was sober, blew a .0, yeah, on the breathalyzer, but he still got arrested and charged. But it gets better. Students who's cops after sober DUI arrest. You ready for this? Let me turn the baby up a little bit. Let's get to the story.
You ready?
Let's break it down.
Okay, you can relax.
See,
so I'm gonna
.0,
okay?
sober.
Right now you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you before any question, okay? Yes, sir.
If there's one thing a police officer hates more than anything else, it's being wrong.
When's the last time you smoked weed?
I do not remember that.
Tonight?
Oh,
Okay, well I would.
No
I
weed tonight,
think
right?
it's tonight.
I've had no weed tonight.
Yes, we're 6:30 down on PCT.
What? Why do you think it's tonight? Why do you think I smoke? I blew zeros, so now you're trying to think I smoke weed. That's what's going on. You can't do that, man. You really can't do
Absolutely, I can.
that. Is he allowed to do that?
Yes, he is.
We're going home tonight, okay? I don't think I have no evidence or no information to suggest that you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol.
Hi there. How you doing, sir? Good. How are you?
Good.
My name's Officer Winters with the Newton Police Department. The reason I pulled you over is because you have your bright lights on.
Yeah, I have a headlight out, so I just keep my brights on.
Okay, well that's not legal.
Oh, is it?
No.
So this video highlights something that is deeply infuriating about police officers in the United States of America. Now to be clear, this man that's being arrested originally got pulled over for driving around with their high beams on, which admittedly is annoying. And in some cases,
It's annoying, but it's not
it can
illegal.
be a traffic violation depending on how close you are to other vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to sit there and say, oh, driving high beams is illegal. No, it's not. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's not illegal. Just like that one guy in Virginia who laughed about a citation. The guy said, oh, you're rolling your high beams or something like a flashing light. I said, that's not illegal. Yeah, it's annoying. It really pisses people off, but in terms, not illegal.
And whether or not you're inside of a city and a bunch of other different factors. And the reason why he was driving with his high beams on was relatively simple. It's because one of his headlights was out, which is very understandable because if your headlight goes out, you can't necessarily control when that happens, and your high beams might be a useful alternative in the moment. Now, we should all obviously keep our headlights maintained, but we really have to ask the question, does it make sense to arrest somebody over that? No, of course it doesn't.
It's not.
So this police officer came...
Hey, here's the thing, I remember this story. I mean, these cops were fetching for anything. I mean, I've seen stories where cops are sitting there trying to grasp at the straws to make up something to arrest a guy. I mean, they're just, they're just looking to make an arrest. Cops do that. They're like, this because they don't like your attitude. They don't like your First Amendment free speech. They don't like when you're standing for your rights.
In with the mindset that he wanted to do something, and he apparently wanted to do something a lot more than a ticket, and so he ended up breathalyzing this guy, and the guy blew zero, and he accuses him of being high. Like, there are field sobriety tests.
Yeah, and here's the thing as well, ladies and gentlemen, there are 20 states that smoking weed is legal. If your consumption of like a little bit like a piece of joint or like less than an ounce, that's legal, because in 20 states it is legal to consume or smoke weed. And he's here to say, oh, I think you smoke weed. It doesn't matter. Well, unless you smoke weed, it's not your business.
Exists for police officers to use, but if a police officer is seeking to be malicious and just declare that somebody is under the influence, well, then it creates this opportunity for them to just arrest somebody for no reason. But all of this really speaks to the underlying reality, which is the very, very simple fact that fundamentally police officers do not like being wrong. They view their position of power.
And the thing about police officers, they don't like it when you're right and they're wrong. Police officers, they don't like it when you stand up for your rights and you don't back down from their tyranny and their bullying and harassing you and making up charges like, no, you're wrong. And they don't like it when you simply exercise your First Amendment free speech. You stand up for them. Yeah, sometimes you get a little mouthy, and they really hate it when you sit there holding a camera like I'm home right now and record their interaction.
Power as being one that that allows them to completely define the situation. And anytime they find the situation being defined in a way that's different from the way that they say, then you find these issues of police officers escalating the situation, which is why so many innocent people get victimized by police officers. Because if you're an innocent person, you're probably a lot more likely to disagree with the police officer about what's going on.
Exactly.
The police officer says that one thing is happening, and you're saying, wait, officer, I actually think that this is happening, and there might be confusion here. Police officers view that as you disrespecting them, not respecting their authority to define what's going on in every single moment, and arbitrarily decide what the consequences should be. And this just reveals how...
And a lot of times, you get police officers, they have the attitude to say, respect my authority! If you question them, or you call them out for being wrong, or they don't know what they're talking about, or they don't state the law, or they lack knowledge of the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, like that, they don't like it when you outsmart them, when you know the rights, and you're not going to back down. You're not going to buck down on the pressure and give up your rights when you stand up for them. You got these proponents up there to say, well, just comply or just obey. Don't ask questions. You don't have no rights. Like Benjamin said before, you don't have any rights when you're being stopped or detained by the cops or being questioned. No, you do have rights. And this day and age, cops don't like it when you stand up for your rights. Oh, it hates them. And their fragile little egos and their little fifis get butthurt when you know your rights. They know when you know you're right and they're wrong. Well, guess what? In the eyes of the police officer, they're saying, "No, I am the law. I am a police officer. I am." So we are always right. You are always wrong. Wrong. That's like going to a store and sitting there saying, "Oh, the customer is always wrong." Bullshit. The customer is always right.
Police officers in the United States fundamentally are granted far too much power. And
yeah, qualified immunity is another thing.
That different regulations could be put in place and different protocols could be put in place to make sure that police officers are doing the right thing. The material reality at the end of the day is the simple fact that the police officers are people with guns who, if you disobey them, the law will by default assume that the police officer is right and you are wrong. And if you don't do what a police officer tells you to do, then they will call even more people with guns to show up to try and force you to do whatever they want. And that really is the heart of the problem.
And the problem is, well, too, you get people on the proponent like that, say you're suspicious out there. What are people doing when they call 911? Freaking out, or actually like someone's looking like a gun, or looking at selling drugs out there. When you're calling 911, calling for the cops, you're not calling for the cops out there. You are calling for a gun on the situation, on the scene.
Fundamentally, what most of police officers respond to does not require an armed response. The overwhelming majority of what a police officer responds to has no need for any firearm involvement whatsoever. And so our entire method of policing really fundamentally is the problem. We shouldn't be bringing armed people into circumstances that fundamentally do not need it, especially when you're talking about small-level traffic enforcement stuff like this. I mean, seriously, it didn't seem like this driver was, actively hurting anybody.
No, he wasn't.
It seems like all he really needed to do was get his light switched, which means that it could have just been a really simple traffic stop that maybe left him with a ticket, and that's all. And even then, the idea of giving a ticket to somebody who has, a dead headlight, I think is just ridiculous. Fundamentally, I think that these people should be given vouchers to just get their headlight replaced, but that's really aside the point. Because the real point is that our entire system of policing is built on this assumption that police officers get to unilaterally define the situation and use violent force to impose their fantasies on everyone else. And that fundamentally is what puts people in...
And plus you get cops out there who think they're always right because, they're... In their mind, they're thinking, I took an oath to swear to protect and uphold the community like that. Yeah, but it doesn't give you the right to act like a tyrant bootlicker, to make up bull crap to justify when you know that A, you're wrong and the person that you stop is right, or B, your fifi's got butthurt, somebody stood up for you and will give up the rights on the fell swoop as well. I mean, that's what it is in this day and age. With that said, I'm out here, my job. Peace out.